Hey friends, my name is Bhavna and I'm a watercolor artist and illustrator. And today's video is going to be a bit different from all the other videos that I've made previously. Today I wanted to talk about sketchbooks, and recently I have been painting a lot on sketchbooks, and as a watercolor artist I think it's one of the most difficult things to find that perfect sketchbook, because I know for watercolor the paper is so essential. It's the key component for your paintings. However, I have tried many different sketchbooks and I will be talking about them in my upcoming videos. But today I just, saw one of the sketchbooks online on Amazon, and I just happened to, I just had a thought that, hey, why not just try it out? And today I want to talk about that particular sketchbook, which I just got, I think, yesterday, and I also opened it and I couldn't help myself. So I did paint the first page of it, and I'm going to show you what I did. And also, we will be talking about how the sketchbook turned out. I will review it. It's not a sponsored video, it's my personal review. So I hope you guys, if you are a watercolor artist and you are trying to find some sketchbook options, then to keep watching, and I hope you enjoy. Alright guys, so this is what the sketchbook looks like. It's an A4 size sketchbook, and it has 80 pages, and this brand is called Anupam. Now this is an Indian brand, and it's locally manufactured here in India. And it says acid free paper. It also has a hard bound um, texture, khadi textured cover, which I really love about it. And it's almost giving that archival feel, and I think you can really, it's quite sturdy and nice and strong, so I think you can carry it around with you and take it with you wherever you go if you're painting outdoors and stuff. And also this one retails at 370 rupees, but on Amazon I got it at 365, which was like 5 rupee less, which was amazing, good, I think. And yeah, so mostly this is what it looks like. It says the name of it is actually Sketch Khadi Edition. And also one of the things that really like caught my eye when I saw the sketchbook was 200 GSM. So I think the 200 GSM, normally sketchbooks come in about 150 to 180 GSM, but actually I saw this 200 GSM and I thought, hey, that's quite a nice thick paper, and I think I can try it out. So here's what I did. Now I will also be painting something on it, so I'm going to show you what we'll also do a painting on this video, a short something quickly. And this is what I tried out yesterday. And as you know that my paintings are mostly florals because I love painting flowers, and I love painting loose style flowers. So this is what I did last night, and you can see the paper is also quite thick and nice, and I also like the color of the paper. I think it's quite nice and bright, so your paint won't look dull, so it gives you that bright appearance. So that's another good point about it. And now if I'm talking in terms of watercolor, then I think this is not that ideal for a watercolor paper. It looks like almost like a hot press paper. It's quite smooth that way, but again, it's not completely smooth like how you get your alcohol marker paper, like the really smooth texture. It's not that smooth. I think if you're working with pencils or charcoal or crayons and stuff, I think this will work out really well for that. However, with watercolor, the only thing is that your paint will dry out faster, unlike in cotton paper. When we're painting on cotton paper, the paper stays wet for a longer time, so you can do more wet on wet, right? So that's the advantage of using cotton paper. However, in this kind of paper, the water dries out really fast, so you have to work a little faster in terms of if you want to get a lot of wet on wet. Again, if you've already wet a certain area, and then if it has dried out and if you want to re-wet it again, I wouldn't suggest that. You can't keep doing that like more than 2 or 3 times, because I think twice is fine. If you go over more than twice, then you might your paper might just come off, and it also started to buckle a little bit, but not too much. But ideally, I would say it's not great for a lot of wet on wet painting. But if you paint loose style, or if you just do light washes, or you can do pen and ink or something like that, then I think you can really go ahead and use your watercolor paints. So I think I've talked too much, and let's try out how I want to show you how the sketchbook behaves when I paint on it. And yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. All right, so here is my paint palette, and I'm going to I'll just quickly activate my paints. All right, so let's go ahead and do some loose style florals, of course, because that's what I love doing the most. And I'll just go grab a few brushes here. So I have my few regular round brushes. These are number 6, number 8, and this one's a calligraphy brush, which I also love a lot. I use it quite often. And I'm thinking in terms of the composition, I'm going to do a glass vase right here, and then I'll probably just fill it up with some beautiful yellow flowers. And that's what I have in mind. Let's see. And I'm going to keep the vase this side. Also, my style of painting is I don't do a lot of details, but I do like to keep things a bit more accurate in terms of value and light and shadow. So maybe one more flower here. All right, so I am going to do some wet on wet, because we're going to push the limits as much as we can and see how much water the sketchbook can handle. And so let me just go ahead. I'm going to give it a nice kind of a gray sort of background here. And sometimes it's difficult to handle these kind of paper um, because again, it doesn't give you a lot of playtime, and it dries out faster. It doesn't work. You have to actually make the paint move around the page. Unlike in watercolor cotton paper, the paint just moves on its own and it does half of your work. If I feel that I want my background to have some color, that's when especially if I'm doing intricate subjects like flowers and stuff, because I know that once I get those details there, then it's going to be difficult for me to paint larger surface. So that's why I go ahead and get the background in place first. Now, sometimes in cotton paper, you really have to wait for the paint to dry before you go on with the next layer. But in this one, I don't think so. You have to do a lot of waiting here, because it's going to dry out really fast, and you'll see when I say it'll dry faster. As you can see, so far the paper is taking paint really well. It is not buckling that much, but there is a little bit of buckle, which is, I think, is absolutely okay. All right, so I think I'm going to, this much is fine. I won't go over it too much because I'm going to now go ahead and do my flowers, and for that I'm using, this is a light yellow, light, this is a light medium yellow actually, and I'm gonna start. The first layer is again is just laying the paint down. All right, next up I'm also taking some gamboge, and while this light yellow is still wet, I'm going to drop some gamboge in some places. Now my light is hitting from this side, so I'm going to keep most of the shadows towards my right. Like I told you before, that you have to work a little faster because your paper is going to dry out. And sometimes it's also nice when you're not spending a lot of time with one painting and you're just you know, doing it really fast. And that way I probably feel you can get more practice time, you can paint more. And that's also why I love watercolors. Again, another reason is because you can do much more in a day. Like you can create more paintings in a day compared to any other medium like acrylics or oil, where you have to really wait it out for the paints to dry and then you go over it again. And I'm gonna take some ultramarine blue and some orange, and I'm gonna just get some nice shadows there as well. I need the white of the paper to stay as it is. You can see I'm also doing a bit of negative painting here, leaving out the white space with in contrast to the dark around it. So far so good. I can see some cauliflower lines here. That probably happened because it was drying and then again I re-wet it again. So it's kind of giving a nice texture there though, which is okay. I don't mind that. Sap green and ultramarine blue mixed together, make it in. I also mix a bit of purple to it. Now this one I'm going to need it really like nice and dark, so burnt sienna mixed with Van Dyke green. All right, now this one's a bit wet here, so I'm going to shift to this side and make some ultramarine blue. I can see a bit of granulation happening here. That's probably because of my paint, because my ultramarine blue is also a bit granulating. I'm going to add some green here. All right, next up I'm going to change my brush now. I'm going to grab my more pointy one because I'll be needing it to put in some details there. And I'll take some yellow ochre and a bit of Van Dyke brown or burnt sienna, one, either one will work. And I'll go ahead and this is a really nice dark patch here, so because I want to really show that there's a lot of shadow here in this area. Okay, all right, maybe we can get a bit of color towards this side, since this is where the side's going to be a bit darker, I feel. So I'm going to mix some purple and ultramarine blue, and also mix in a bit of sepia or burnt sienna to that. And I'm going to make this really nice and dark. And now the fun part is, okay, I think I got the wrong brush, so I'm going to use a flat one. And kind of going all the way a bit on top of those, like, this is basically called like a glazing technique. And when I do that, it's giving me this impression of a shadow, which the shadow light, which is also falling over my subject. So it's basically to give you that feel that this part is also part of the shadow as well at the same time. This needed, should have dried a bit, but I think I went over it a little quickly. Oh, you know, I'm quite surprised. See, I can also do some lifting, which is nice. Not bad at all. So far, the paper is taking water really well. Okay, well, we're almost there. I don't want to drag this video and make it too long because the idea was just to test the sketchbook. Alright guys, so the painting is finally dried. It's finally over and I had to stop somewhere. So this is it's dried out now and this is what it's looking like. Overall, I think it turned out, the paper turned out quite good. I mean, in terms of how much water it took, I think it took up really quite a lot of water. So I was quite happy with that. And I think not bad for 370 rupee worth of sketchbook from Anupam and locally found and sourced. For those of you, if you would like to buy this sketchbook, if you want to try it out, do try it out. I'll also link the Amazon, the Amazon link on the description. I'll try and do that for if you guys want to check out the sketchbook yourself. Okay. All right guys, so that's it for today's video. Next video, hopefully, I also have another sketchbook which I am trying to make a video of it. This one is from Manora. I have now almost finished this. This is my 2024 sketchbook and I'm going to make a flip through video for this one. So hang on, stay tuned for this one guys, and I hope you enjoyed today's videos. If you did, please consider liking the video, subscribe to the channel, and which will really encourage me to make more videos for you. And follow me on my Instagram account, Colors by Bhavna, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.